Welcome back to 1700 for your hump day. Andy from Short Shadows is joining us now for an interview. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You did an excellent single, Nothing Good Comes Out of Preston. I guess my first question to you is, what's your inspiration behind that song?
Behind that song, it's like most of my songs, it's a story. Obviously, it sounds like it might be quite a negative about the suburb, but it's actually my love letter to the suburb. It's based on someone else telling me that nothing good could come out of Preston, and wanted to prove them wrong, I guess. But it's actually not necessarily about me, just the concept. But yeah, so the name itself, Nothing Good Comes Out of Preston. I hope to prove them wrong, and anyone that thinks that.
For sure.
Awesome. And your song before, it was quite an interesting mix of genres. How would you define sort of your music and the genre?
I think the thing about my music, especially under the Short Shadows banner, is that I let all of my songs are sort of stories, and I let the narrative of the story set the genre for the song. So it is a bit of a mixed bag. You might have songs that sort of like neo soul, and you might have more funky stuff. You might have some garage kind of rock or some quite electro kind of beats, urban sort of sounds as well. So it is quite a mixed bag, but I do write on the piano. So piano or key sounds probably is the thing that connects all the music together. So it's a tough one when people say, oh, what style do you play? But soon I'll just be able to say, well, why don't you just look up my music and decide for yourself?
Yeah. Now, you say that all your songs have stories, that have inspired you to write these pieces of music, which are great. Now, the thing is that when people sit down and go, I want to write music, inspired by yourself, and just go, I'm going to write a song, and they don't know where to start. Where do you find this inspiration for your stories that you write about? Is it just like, do you come up with your own stories that you make up, or do you become inspired by things that are happening around you? Where do you find it?
That's a really good question. It depends, is the short answer. It could be something as simple as an idea. I wrote a lot of the lyrics for this album on the train or the tram or public transport. And you might see someone sitting opposite you and you think, well, what's their story? Where are they going for the rest of the day? Or I remember seeing someone sitting on the side of the road waiting for the tram on the other side, thinking, well, where are they heading? And they didn't look particularly happy. So what's happened in that person's what's happened this evening for that person to make them feel this way? And sometimes I'll explore stories like that. Some are autobiographical, some aren't. Some you might. I don't exactly know what inspires every story, but I think that the interesting thing is everyone has a story to tell. So whether it's the story you want to tell or not, it's a different matter. But if you can hone in on something that you think might make an interesting story, usually it leads to an interesting song.
Yeah, and the song's called Nothing Good Has Come Out, or Nothing Comes Good Out of Preston. What's something good that's come out of Preston?
Preston and the surrounding suburbs, it's an amazing place to live. I've lived there all my life. I was literally born up in Reservoir, and I still live around there now. So many good things. The Preston Market, absolutely love it. I still go there with my little one every week. In fact, I was there today. I was there this morning. So that's one thing. Being put on the spot, I can't think. We got good coffee along the 86 line, and when you go down to Thornbury, the food and everything is amazing. So yeah, that little pocket, as it continues to be gentrified, it's just getting better and better. But when I was growing up, I would say the cake shops, they were always good.
Yes, they are good in Preston.
And you were saying before how you write a lot of your songs on public transport. What would you say is the strangest thing you've seen on riding public transport?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm not sure I'd be able to talk about what I actually saw on this particular program. But the thing I do really like about the public transport is the diversity as well. And I think it's a really good educator for not only people from different backgrounds, but people from different walks of life.